So, quick warning, there are spoilers for the ending of The Ancient Gods Part 2 for Doom Eternal. Now, my theory is the Doom franchise in a constant loop? Well, what I've seen here is the Doom guy is essentially a god in the series, so he must be somewhat immortal, because when he dies, he goes to the same place. But what I think is when he dies, he just restarts the process and goes back. But it just doesn't show you that part. But I'm just guessing that. Completely guessing that. And we might not get more information on this for a while because a lot of people want a Quake game rather than a new Doom game. And I'm really hoping for Quake. I've never played the old ones, but I'm really itching to play a new kind of first-person shooter rather than just kind of a game with the same mechanics. And I'm not saying Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal are just really repetitive. I mean, sometimes they are if you just can't pass an area. But still, there is a huge difference between the two. I'm not giving hate to it. It says here at the beginning of this game, the exact line, well, half of the exact line that's shown after you kill the Dark Lord in The Ancient Gods Part 2. So you walk eternally throughout the Shadow Realms, eternally probably being what is showing the name of Doom Eternal. But you can see this eternally. Eternal meaning forever. So that could mean a time loop. But this is all a theory, complete guesses. So you walk eternally through the Shadow Realms, standing against evil where all others falter. Meaning that everybody else who's tried to combat the Dark Lord has died. And Doom Guy is the one who saved everybody from it. May your thirst for retribution never quench, may the blood in your sword never dry, and may we never need you again. Meaning that the Doom franchise would be at the end, but they still set up a vote for it, so it's obviously not at the end. And Hugo Martin also said himself that the Doom guy didn't actually die. Which leads me to think, is he in a time loop? Because they put him in the same exact, at the beginning of the game, they put him in the same exact coffin. When you start this game, you'll start in a coffin. I've seen the models in SnapMap, and they match up exactly the same, except for the Doomslayer's iconic symbol inside of the coffin. Now, you can see this as there's a huge difference between Doom Eternal, and I'm saying lore-wise as well. This game was a reboot, so that just means it wasn't completely intentional for it to be exactly the same as Doom Eternal, because they didn't. I don't think they started planning Doom Eternal for like the next few months after this was released. But you can see there's a huge difference, such as models like the Super Shotgun getting a huge upgrade, the rocket launcher, the heavy assault rifle, the plasma rifle, the absolutely trash pistol, which has gotten a quite big overhaul from what I can see in Doom Eternal, but it was scrapped, so you're gonna need a mod menu. And the ballista, also known as the Gauss cannon in this, has gotten a huge overhaul. Now that means these probably take place very far between each other. And you can see as this game has pretty much demons that aren't really that much evolved. You can see that because I don't like, this could tie into it, but for this game you can see how much of a difference there is, such as cultists, the makers, which we only You can actually see in Urdak, the second to last mission of the Doom Eternal campaign, you can see a huge, like, maker body, in a bunch of water, which is probably supposed to be like a mummification process or something like that. And we see that, and we destroy the orb in its chest on the last level of Doom 2016. And what I'm getting at is these makers have been referenced in the codexes. And really, it's just hiding a lot from us, such as the cutscenes in Doom Eternal on the Sentinel Sentinel Prime level. You can see that there is a lot revealed to us, such as us literally just being a normal human and then being turned into a god by Samuel himself, which is revealed in the Ancient Gods Part 1. And he turns into Samur, which I guess that's where they got Samuel Hayden. And that explains a lot about why he knows so much about hell energy and everything like that. And also, I gotta say, this actually makes a lot of sense, seeing as when you die, you go to the same spot. But get this, the Doomslayer, you can see in the Sentinel Prime level in Doom Eternal that basically he's pretty much just turned into a god after the Sentinels find him outside of Mars. So then they take him, they turn him into this beefy thing that can literally take like a 1,000-pound demon and drag it to the ground by literally just flicking it. So I guess when he dies, that just restarts the process all over again. And, well, like they put him into a sarcophagus that looks exactly the same. It's pretty much identical. Now in Doom 3 you can see in Doom 3 you can see that you are not the Doomslayer. You are actually somebody who is just on Mars. They tried to turn that game into like a horror game. They tried to turn this franchise into horror, but it didn't work out very well. But still, you know that during that time period, the Doomslayer decided to go down to hell to deal with all of the demons, just to, well, destroy them all because of all that rage. When they killed his pet Daisy, he was filled with a lot of anger, and when he was turned into a god, that let him express his anger. And he never speaks because he's just always in a blind rage. And as my friend has told me before in the past, he might do this as a way of trying to challenge himself. Instead of using his fists, he uses guns. So he does that to try to challenge himself, probably. But you can see a lot of lore is shown to us in Doom Eternal. And I gotta say, huge improvements. But the fact that we have a lot more lore that shows us a lot about the makers, how they're selected every 10,000 years, the creation of the demons, and if you see in also they're also coming out with a Doom movie, a sequel to Doom Annihilation. Can't wait to see that fail. But yeah, the game itself, like Doom 2016, you can see this imp right here, like everything's so dark, you're on Mars. But in Doom Eternal, it takes place on Earth, takes place in the Sentinel cities, it's a lot more open and everything. But this loop, maybe you're so adapted to the dash because you've done it before. And a huge thing that factors into this is how would the Codex or the Codex entries know what's going to happen in the future? I get that they're gods, but I don't think a god can predict the future. Well, maybe they could, but we don't exactly know a lot about the gods, except for that, well, Satan in the universe of Doom is actually God himself, and is Doomguy's literal equal. So he tried basically creating everything to lead up to that one moment. Maybe for his own enjoyment, who knows? But maybe like when everything resets, the Dark Lord's mind might reset too. It's all part of some kind of big plan, from what I've seen myself. But let me know if you think otherwise of anything. Like, if you want to say I'm wrong, that's fine. Just try to provide evidence. Maybe I can improve on this theory. Maybe make a second video that makes it better. Like, look at this. When you die, you load from checkpoint. You're just in a loading screen, and you basically come back, and that's technically it. It shows that the makers are actually like corrupted. They've corrupted themselves to basically a dystopian society of the universe. So it's basically a dystopian universe. They want Argent energy. They don't care about really anything more than their own realm being saved. They don't care about any other realms. So they don't try to protect other realms. They just try to harvest everything for themselves. That's what the makers do. But get this. The makers are really ancient, so they must know a lot. They're basically just heavenly creatures, but the fact that in real life, if you do believe in God, angels they don't very often get corrupted. And a lot of retarded people in the series, such as Olivia, they're dumb and they trust the demons thinking that they're going to get something out of it. Such as Olivia Pierce when she was turned into the Spider Mastermind. But that also goes to show, when he's building this, when the Dark Lord may or may not be building this, he tries to get everything to match up. And maybe he just found that in the Doom guy's past and tried to bring it back to somewhat of traumatize him into just stopping. Something like that. But yeah, we can see that Samuel is pretty much a maker. Vega is literally like the right-hand man of the Dark Lord himself, creator of all things. But what makes no sense is, it says all demons outside of hell will be vanquished, gone. Literally, Thanos snapped out of the universe. But get this. When those demons are gone, it's Vega says briefly before you get knocked out, he says to you, he's the creator of all things, even you. So then you can see a scene of these basically the hooded figures that are basically like Samuel Hayden's maker form when you first like see him. And you find out he's a Seraphim in Tag 1. I've never played it, but I've heard of this. I think I've seen it before. But yeah, you can see that they just lift the sarcophagus over you, and then they're blacked out. Done. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, dude, why the heck would they kill off the Doomslayer? They don't want to end this franchise because has it made them a lot of money. And I don't think Bethesda would like that very much if they lost a lot of money. So there's still a lot more to be uncovered about this, but I don't have really the slightest idea of anything in Tag 1 because I really don't care about something that I don't own. Because if I don't own it, I won't care about it. And if I don't get to play it, I won't understand it. But go in the comments, comment anything that you said I was wrong. Maybe I got my words mixed up or something like that. But yeah. Also, I don't very often get to read my comments because I don't actually have a phone myself. And on PlayStation, you cannot use YouTube comments uh, or anything like that. You can't comment, you can't look at comments, you can't really do much. It's very limited. But yeah,